Dear students, today I am starting with the paper of Income Tax Law and Practice of BCom Honors second year, third semester. Now before we take up the chapters one by one, let us go through the contents. Now this paper is of theory plus practical, so you will be having 2.5 hours of theory exam with 1 hour practical exam. Total marks are of 100 marks are assigned with 6 credit points. The objective of this paper is to impart knowledge of laws pertaining to levy of income tax in India. That means all the relevant provisions relating to income tax, calculation of income, calculation of tax, filing of returns and all other things which are important for the taxation matters, these are to be studied in this. And this will also aimed at enabling the students to apply the knowledge by understanding online filing of returns. Like in case of individuals who are not having any business or profession income, filing of returns is compulsory through online mode. So to give a knowledge of online filing of the returns, a practical part is also included in this course curriculum. Now when we talk about income tax, I am not taking up the complete syllabus right now, but when we talk about income tax, then income tax basically implies tax on income, isn't it? During a particular year you have some income, so on that income tax is to be paid as per the stated rates. Now what is included in income? Now income can be divided into 5 categories. As per income tax laws, a person may be having income in form of salary or pension. You might be having a house property, so you might be getting rental income. A person might be having some business or profession giving him profits. You might be selling some of your investments and you make gains, or you might be having some losses also, so your capital gains, which includes of course losses. Then apart from these 4 major heads, you might have income from various other sources, like you have deposits in your bank and you get interest income. You might have written a book, so you are getting royalty income, isn't it? So you may have income from various other sources. So it's an umbrella term, umbrella head, which includes any income from any source which is not there in these 4 categories. So the basic thing is that all your income from any source, from any activity, is to be clubbed together, and that will give you your gross total income. So this is your total income, but this is not the amount on which tax will be calculated, because out of your total income you make some savings, you have some important investments, or you have some important expenses. So for some savings or for some expenses you are allowed deductions, like when you make investments in provident fund or you take insurance, mediclaim insurance, so you are allowed certain deductions. Similarly, if a person is handicapped, then he is also allowed some exemption from his total income. So certain permissible deductions are there, so you write up all the deductions, and when you deduct these amounts you get taxable total income. So this is the income on which tax is to be paid. So this is called taxable income. Now as per the given slabs, tax will be calculated on this income. This will include health and education cess. So cess implies tax on tax. So you have calculated tax on your income. Now on that tax you are to pay certain additional tax on account of health and educational schemes being started by the government. So separate cess is applicable. So the total tax will be calculated. Then if any interest is payable. Now how do we say interest? Interest here means that the government, the tax laws requires you to pay tax as and when you are earning the income. So if during a particular year you are earning income, then within that year itself, out of this income you are supposed to pay tax. This is referred as advance tax paid. So if you are not paying your taxes on time, then for the defaults you will have to pay interest. So any interest on the outstanding tax bills that you haven't paid, you have to pay interest. Then certain fees is also payable under section 234F. So we'll be taking up these sections as and when they come. So these are certain additional payments which are to be made on account of tax. So this is your total tax liability. Now out of your total tax liability, some tax has already been paid by you in advance, because as the law states, tax must be paid as you earn the money. So pay as you earn. When you are earning income, you need to pay taxes alongside. Then you might be paying some tax on the basis of your own assessment, because you need to pay complete tax before filing the return. So your payment of taxes on account of your own assessment is called self-assessment tax. Then some tax is deducted at source or collected at source, like when you have deposits in bank, then bank deducts tax on your interest income. When you are having a salary income, your employer deducts tax and they pay tax on your behalf. So TDS has already been there, TCS has been collected by bank, some tax has also been paid by you. So on the basis of this, out of this your total tax liability, whatever taxes have been paid by you in some way or the other, when you deduct them, remaining is your tax payable, and in some cases you might be having tax refund. So this is your computation of income tax. Now tax laws in India are one of the very complicated laws. Although each and every with each and every budget, steps are being taken to simplify it, but still it's a very detailed law. Now you might be finding that what is difficult in this, we'll take up the income, we'll add up them, then we'll deduct these amounts, we'll calculate tax, and then we'll see how much tax is payable or to be refunded. But this is not as simple as it seems. Every information that we are writing here, it has a lot many provisions. Like when we say salary, now do you think that your salary is a lump sum? You get salary in the form of some basic salary, then you are given some allowances, like maybe for uniform, for education, you are given allowance for your transport, then you are given some perquisites. Perquisites are the benefits being given, like the employer doesn't give you any allowance along with your salary income, but he allows you free food facility in the office canteen, or he allows you to stay in the office premises. So you have certain perquisites, so you are to value them, you are to follow income tax rules to calculate the salary income. Then out of salary income, certain deductions are allowed on account of standard deduction, on account of some expenses being incurred on entertainment or in transportation, etc. So certain deductions are allowed. So when you write up all these things, adjust these things, then you arrive at this figure. Similarly, your house property. Now one of you may say that of course I have a house, I have two houses maybe, but I haven't rented them, why should I pay tax on that? But income tax law says that if you have more than one house property, then on the other house property you have the ability to generate income. If you are not generating income, it's your choice. So that house property is to be taxed. So some hypothetical income will be taxed on that. Similarly, in case of your business and profession, you need to calculate profits and gains as per your tax laws. See, tax laws are different from your accounting laws, because taxation authorities, they will not allow you to follow the rules as per your own convenience and then come up with a figure of profit or loss and then say that this is my tax. No, they have framed each and every law, so they want to bring every income into the tax net. Similarly, capital gain. So every income, for every category you have a complete set of rules which you need to follow. So we need to study the basic laws behind these, and every heading is itself is a chapter. Now not only this is what meets the eye. There is something more than that. Now when we say that this is income tax for the assessment year, then certain concepts are needed to be understood. So what is assessment year, what is previous year, and when we say income, then what do we understand by income? Then sometimes incomes are exempt, like you might have heard that the person is having income from agricultural sources, so this income is exempt. So what incomes are exempt, what are the the categories? Similarly, the government sometimes gives you benefit in the form of exemptions when you have say exports, so you are given some allowance. You are not to pay tax on your export income, because you are bringing a very important source into your country, that is foreign exchange. So what are the different exemptions? Sometimes government gives some benefit to the person who is setting up his business in a backward state. So some kind of incentive is given, so these incentives are needed to be understood. So there are certain basic concepts that we need to know, like regarding the year, regarding the income, what is income, what is taxable income, what is exempt income, right? And then certain rules relating to expenses which will be allowed as deduction. Sometimes we use the term deduction, sometimes we use the term exemption. So what is the difference, like what is exempt income? Then not only this, one more thing is here that we need to understand. A person may say that I was not employed in India, I was working outside in UK, so I am getting income from that country. Why should I pay tax here? Or is it taxable here? You might be having a doubt. So is it taxable here? You have a house property here, you have another house here, maybe US, you are getting rental income, but that income is being generated there. So should it be taxed here? Similarly, a person might not be an Indian citizen. You have, say, a business transaction with some foreign author. You have a business of, say, publishing the books, and you take up the person's book and the manuscript, you convert it into book, and then you sold this book in India. Now you pay him royalty. Now that person is getting royalty, the person is not an Indian person. So will he be required to pay Indian tax? So what is the incidence of tax? How do we decide that this income will fall in the tax net and this income will not fall in this? What type of income will be taxable? What will be non-taxable? You might be wondering, there might be a person who is not an Indian, who has never come to India, but still he may have to pay tax in India. So why? How come that person falls in the tax net? What is the incidence of tax? Now this is based on the person's residence status, and it is not just Indian, it is non-residents also. So non-resident persons are also falling in the tax net, and maybe as a businessman you might be given the responsibility to collect the tax at source, because the tax authorities may not go and ask that non-resident or external person to pay the tax. They cannot, they can't even come to know about that. So it becomes your businessman's responsibility. So how to calculate the taxable income, on which income tax will be paid, and on which income tax will not be paid, which will fall here. So residential status is another concept which is very important. So we'll be studying some basic terms, basic rules regarding these. Then the concept of a person or assessee. Now who is assessee? We use the term assessee. In case of income tax, the term assessment. When we are put through the tax procedures, we are called assessment of income. Your income is being assessed, and the person whose income is being assessed is called assessee. So all these terms we need to understand. We need to understand the relationship between residential status and tax incidence. Then we need to understand these categories of income for calculation purposes. So their rules needs to be known. We need to devote one full chapter on the permissible deductions, then calculation of tax, then the rules relating to payment of tax, collection of tax, deposit of tax. Then another thing comes, it is not the end. You have one more thing, that is clubbing of income. Sometimes people try to evade taxes by diverting their source of income to someone else. You have a business, and you convert or you transfer a part of your business income to your son. You make some investments in his name. Now he is earning the income, but is it his income? No, he is not doing anything to earn that income. So then the principle of clubbing of income comes into picture, right? So you cannot just transfer your sources of income to anyone and then you can say that I do not have any income or my income tax is reduced. This is wrong. So the clubbing of income will come into picture, and then the income of that person will be clubbed with your income. So what are the rules? Then the set off of losses, set off of carry forward of losses, like you have capital gains here. Gain does not imply a positive income, it may have a negative income also. When we say profit and gain of business or profession, you may have losses also. Now suppose you have a loss of 10 lakh in your business. Now when we put here minus 10 lakh and we record any other income and you have a negative income, so does it imply that income tax authorities will pay you tax? No, you have a loss here. So what you can do is you can carry forward this loss, and in the next years your tax liability will be reduced. So what are the provisions? How can we carry forward the loss? So rules relating to set off and carry forward of losses, clubbing of income, everything. So all these rules are needed to be learned. So that is why I am saying that it is a very, very lengthy system that we need to understand. Then after this we will come to the practical aspects, that is filing of return. So when to file the return, what are the due dates, what if you do not file the return within the given period, and what are the rules of TDS, TCS, advanced taxes, and what are the penalties if you do not follow the rules. Then how to go to the site, Income Tax India's website, and pay the taxes. Then how to plan for the taxes. You want to reduce your taxes, but how to plan for that? It is not that now that due date has come and now you want to say that I want to reduce my taxes. How to go about that? So it's a very detailed chapter, and all these things are included here. However, in a given course curriculum, how much we shall be studying, what depth shall we be studying, that will depend upon the previous year paper pattern and your exams guidelines. So when you are studying this chapter, this particular subject, please remember it's a very detailed subject, but we will be learning only the relevant parts which are important from your examination point of view, which are given in your course curriculum, and which are there as per your guidelines of the paper. So now that we know that what all is there in income tax, so let us understand the learning outcomes. So we will be able to understand the basic concepts of tax laws and determine the residential status and incidence of tax. Okay, we need to find out incidence of tax. Sometimes you might be finding that Mr. X, who is an Indian citizen, okay, and he is having some, say, royalty income in UK. In some cases you might be finding that he is to pay tax on this income. This is taxable in his hands. In some cases you might be finding that this income is not taxable. So how and why? So this depends upon his residential status. So residential status and incidence of tax. Then we will be identifying the 5 heads and the calculation of income under the head salary and income from house property, and the next 3 heads are clubbed together in the third objective. Then the provisions of clubbing and aggregate of income, set off and carry forward of losses, deductions. So that means anything and everything under the sun to compute taxable income and tax liability. Now when we talk about the taxation rules, they divide individuals or the persons or assessees into various categories: individuals, firms, companies, association of persons, body of individuals. So there are many categories of persons, but in our course we have individuals and firms, assessees only. You have Hindu undivided family also, which is specific to Indian Income Tax Act. Then final objective is your ability to file online return of income, which is the practical part. So you will be explained the whole procedure of filing of the returns of income. Alright, so let us take up the contents. So based on the objective, the contents are same. Introduction, that is the basic rules. Then computation of income under first 2 heads, and then the next 3 heads. Okay, so the calculation is done in 2 different titles. Then computation of total income, tax liability, and preparation of return of income. So I hope that with the detailed discussion in the very beginning, you know where these things fits in. You see here, this is your first thing is basic, you know, all this thing that I have explained. Second unit is these two heads. Third unit is these heads. Fourth unit is the calculation of this income and taxes, and then, you know, clubbing of income, set off of losses, then all the rules. Then finally we have the filing of the returns and all relevant provisions. Okay, now let us take up the course contents in detail. So our basic concepts will include income, agricultural income, person, assessee, you know, assessment year, previous year, gross total income, rate of tax, there's marginal rate of tax, permanent account number. Then you have residential status and scope of, you know, total income on the basis of residential status and exempted incomes. Section 10 is very important. All exempted incomes are, you know, lined up here. Now second is the computation of income under the head salaries and house property. I cannot give you any details right now because it's a very detailed topic. Then you have income under the heads, next three heads: profit and gains of business and profession, capital gains, and income from other sources. Then you have computation of total income. So this will include income of other persons to be clubbed with your income, that is clubbing of income. Then you have a set off and carry forward of losses, deductions, rebates and reliefs. Then you calculate the total income. Then you calculate tax liability. Then 5 leading cases are there to understand the working of these, you know, provisions. So these 5 cases are to be studied here as a part of your course curriculum. Then you have preparation of return of income, that is filing of return manually, online, then the procedures regarding the online filing of returns, etc. Okay, now the books that you have are Girish Ahuja and Ravi Gupta, Systematic Approach to Income Tax. Another is Singhania and Singhania, Student's Guide to Income Tax. Apart from this, you can understand the Excel utility and the software which is there in the VK Singhania's book. Then you can also go through these journals, because, you know, whenever we are studying for any kind of laws, there might be some changes from time to time, you know. So these changes needs to be learned by us. So make it a habit to go through these journals on time to time basis to see what new is happening in this field. Now your assessment includes 4 credit hours for lecture, 1 credit hour for tutorial, and 1 credit hour for the practical, because this includes practical. So total 100 marks are there for your exams, and this 100 marks assessment includes end semester exam of 55 marks, which is of 2.5 hours exam. Then you have internal assessment. This is specific to University of Delhi BCom Honors students. Okay, so if you are from any other board or you are from any other university, then please go through your own assessment. Laws are same whether you are studying it in DU or in some other university. Income tax law is one for the whole country, but your assessment can be different. Your internal assessment includes attendance, assignments, class tests, etc. And now in the, you know, COVID times, your attendance marks have now been clubbed with the assignment and project marks. Now practical exam, 20 marks exam on e-filing of return. So you will be given information and you are to file the return using XML format. So that is it for the day. So thank you very much, and this is just a brief of this paper, income tax. Now for the details, you can join in my another YouTube channel, that is tax laws, investments and wealth building. So I will not be posting this on this commerce classes channel, because in this channel I am already, you know, running a lot of video lines like corporate accounting, financial accounting, class 11, 12, basics of accounting and all. So tax laws, investments and wealth building. This is my another channel wherein you can join in to see the complete income tax rules. So I'll be starting with the income tax laws and then we'll include all other components in that channel. So thank you very much.